My stomach dropped with the floor and landed somewhere in China, where it bounced like a super ball. I had that same feeling now. I clutched the Bombay chest and attempted to inflate my lungs. Who? Aggie's auburn brows met over her nose. She pressed her hands together as if in prayer and tapped the edge of her fingers against pursed lips. She said her name was Mrs. Anarchy Jones. I closed my eyes, squeezed them tight. If Anarchy had a wife, he wouldn't have asked me to travel to Italy with him. If Anarchy had a wife, he'd have told me. I had to have faith. It can't be. Anarchy and I were leaving for the airport in 3 hours. There was no way he had a wife. Was this Mother's last-ditch effort to keep me from traveling to Italy with a man to whom I wasn't married? Would she stoop so low? Oh, Frances Walford was many things, patronizing, high-handed, snobbish, but she wasn't underhanded. I opened my eyes. Aggie, I need coffee. I pushed Mr. Coffee's button when your guest arrived. The coffee's still fresh. What would I do without Aggie? Or Mr. Coffee? Give me 2 seconds. Aggie disappeared into the kitchen, leaving me to contemplate my stacked suitcases and the mystery woman in the study. Had she heard us talking? Who was she? Aggie returned, pressed a mug into my shaky hands, and nodded toward the study's closed door. She already has coffee, but I'll bring a tray. Thank you. I drank deeply, mustered my courage, crossed the foyer, and turned the doorknob. My late husband's study remained a mishmash of dark wood, plaid upholstery, bookshelves filled with histories, biographies, and dry tomes about war, and a desk the size of Rhode Island. I'd recently packed away his collection of Toby mugs. Leering faces were no longer part of the room's ambiance. A blonde woman had chosen a club chair with a view of the front yard. She'd seen me arrive. I cleared my throat. Good afternoon. She didn't respond. Good afternoon. Louder this time. I tightened my hold on the coffee mug and ventured into the study. Dread, as heavy as the packed suitcases in the foyer, settled in my stomach. I circled the chair. Mrs. Anarchy Jones slumped bonelessly. Her head hung at a funny angle, and my second good afternoon had been loud enough to wake the dead. Also, she'd spilled her purse. A handkerchief, lipstick, compact, and billfold littered the floor. Mrs. Anarchy Jones wore a Diane von Furstenberg wrap dress. Her hair was an expensive shade of honey blonde. She might have been a pretty woman, but her face and lips were swollen into a horrific mask. The things I could have done, that last-minute errand, martinis with Libba, the drive through the neighborhood to admire my neighbor's spring plantings, flashed through my brain. Heck, I could have swung by my parents' house for a cozy mother-daughter chat, one where Mother's disapproval of my choices was as tangible as her perfectly matched pearls. They were all better choices than coming home to this. I retreated until the back of my legs hit Henry's desk. I propped myself against its solid edge and blotted out the sight of Mrs. Anarchy Jones by pressing a palm against my eyes. Aggie? Yes, ma'am? I shifted my palm a smidge and peeked. Aggie stood in the doorway holding a tray. The hand not glued to my forehead clutched the coffee mug tighter than a drowning man held a life preserver. She's dead. She can't be. Aggie shook her head, and orange curls sproinged in every direction. She only arrived 20 minutes ago. Oh, solid logic, but fatally flawed. Take a look, I suggested. Aggie entered, deposited the coffee tray on Henry's desk, and observed the body, the face. You're right. She's dead. I'm aware. Anarchy's a widower. I blew out a slow breath. She's not his wife. She can't be. Mom? Grace, home from school with her backpack slung over her shoulder, appeared in the open.